Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monique, and if you are new here, you are absolutely welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tutorials. Today I'll be showing you how to create this stunning pointed Basque tiered ruffle dress. So let's get right into it. So I'll be using this Adire crepe fabric. It's a 4 yards, and I'll be using a 2 yards of chiffon fabric. So I've gone ahead to draft the basic body half scale. I already have a video on how to achieve this, so you can check my last video so that you understand what I did. So this is what I did. I just took the half scale, that is the shoulder to bust and shoulder to waist, and I added seam allowance. It's on a fold. So I'm going to take the next measurement I'll take is the shoulder to under bust because it wasn't included. So the shoulder to under bust is 14 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark it out. Then on the neck width, I use 3.5 inches for the neck width. Then now I'm going to take the neck depth. I'll be using about 9 or 10 inches for the neck depth. So I'll just go ahead and mark out 9 or 9.5 inches here. So it's going to be a v-neck. I'll use my pattern master to connect it this way. Then I've gone ahead to draft the back panel also. So this is the back pattern. So now let's go back to the front. So the dress I'm making is a free dress, and on this pattern I only added 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to re-add allowance to the dress. So I'll take the bust circumference. The bust is 38. Quarter of 38 will give us 9.5. I'm adding 1.5 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance. That is on the bust. Then I'll come down to the waist. The waist is 32. Quarter of 32 will give us 8 inches. I'm adding 1.5 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect it with my ruler. So let me just label it out. This is the chest line, under bust and waistline. Now I'll go ahead from the under bust here. I'll create a slant line all the way to the waist here to create the Basque effect. So I'll be using this side of my ruler, this curvy part, so that it doesn't look too sharp. So from the under bust, I'll just connect it to the waistline. So I'll go ahead and trim it out. So this is the neckline. So we have something like this when you open it up. So I'll be attaching ruffles on this part here on the waistline here. So now I'll be cutting the front and back on the fabric. So remember I said I've already cut out the back panel. You can check my last video to get the full tutorials. So this is it on the fabric. The fabric is on a fold. So what I did, I extended this style here. I came up by 2 inches because I noticed it's not really giving me the effect I want. So normally the v-neck is supposed to be deeper than this, but I don't want my neck to be too deep. So I just decided to add 2 inches from this under bust line. I came up by 2 inches, then I slanted it all the way to the waistline. This is just how I want the dress to be. I don't want it to, I noticed the style will not come out well. That was why I did that. But for the real style, you can still extend this curve if you want. So I'm just trying to explain. You can still come up a little and curve it all the way down to the waist. It's not compulsory, but that is how, if you are someone that really wants the style to be very deep and the neckline, so you extend the neckline lower than what I did so that you have something like this. But I'm not using this one. I'm just showing you if you want it to be like that. So mine is just 2 inches upward, and I've already gone ahead to cut it out. So I decided to add a little more allowance on the side. I added ½ inch, and on the back I added 1.5 inches for seam allowance. So it's on a fold. It's not going to have any opening or zipper allowance. I'll just cut it exactly like this. I made the back half length 17 inches, so I extended the lower part by 1 inch, and the side I added 1.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and trim it out exactly like this because I've already marked them out. So this is the fabric. I've gone ahead to cut it out. So we have this. So this is the front panel. So I'll be adding ruffles on this lower part. So this is the back pattern. So I'll be sewing the two sides together, but before then I've gone ahead to cut out the facing. So I just traced out the neckline and I made it 4 inches long to get the facing. So I'm going to place good side to good side like this. I'll be adding interfacing to it, then I'll be sewing it by 1/4 inch. Then I'll do the same thing for the front panel. I traced the V neckline and I made it about 4 inches long. Then I'll be sewing this part by 1/4 inch. I'll also add interfacing to it. So I've done that. So I've stitched it by 1/4 inch and I've added interfacing. So this is the front panel. So this is what we have. This is the good side. I have done the same thing on the back panel. I stitched it by 1/4 inch. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'll pick the front panel on the shoulder here, and I'll also pick the back. So it's going to be good side to good side, facing to facing, and the main fabric to the main fabric. So I'll make sure this stitch part aligns here, as you can see. So I'm going to secure it with a pin. Then after I do that, I'm going to be sewing it by 1/2 inch on the shoulder. So I'll be sewing this part all the way here. I'll repeat the same thing on the other shoulder. I'll pick them together like so, facing to facing and fabric to fabric. Then I'll sew it on the shoulder. So after I do that, then I'm going to join the two sides together. That's the two side seam. I'm going to join them together by 1 inch. So I'll take it to the sewing machine and I'll come back and show you. So guys, I've done that. I've joined the shoulder. So let me turn it to the wrong side. So this is where I sewed. So I sewed this part by 1/2 inch. Then I turned it to the good side like so. I repeated the same thing on the other side. So this is the front facing. So I've folded it and I stitched here by 1 inch. So I left about, on the lower part, I left about 1 inch open because I'm attaching the ruffles to this part and I'm fixing them separately. So from the shoulder, I'm going to measure it and stop at this curved part. So I have about 12 inches. Then on the back, I'm going to do the same thing. For the back, I'll measure from the shoulder also. I have about 17 inches. So it's a double tiered dress. I'll be adding this pink chiffon on the lower side. That's on the second tier. But to get the first tier, the length I'm working with is 50 inches. So I'll be deducting 50 minus 12 inches for the front panel, and it will give me 38 inches. Then on the back is 17 inches. I'll deduct 50 minus 17. It will give us 33 inches. So I left this part open to separate the front from the back. So because the front panel is shorter than the back panel, I'm going to cut the ruffles separately. So the front panel, the ruffle is about 38 inches, and the back panel, the ruffle is about 33 inches. I hope you understand. So now I'm going to measure the front panel. So on this part, I have about 25 inches. So I'm going to cut the fabric by 2.5 down. So I'm going to times 25 by 2.5. Also the back, I have 25 inches, so I will also be timesing it by 2.5. Like I said, I'm cutting them separately. So I've gone ahead to cut it out. This is the front panel. The length is 38 inches long, and the width I have around 60 inches. That is, I timed the 25 by 2.5. I have about 60 inches for the width of the ruffles. Also on the back is this, I did the same thing. The width is around 60 inches and the length of the back is around 34 inches because I added seam allowance. So I've gone ahead to make a loose stitch that I'll be using for the gathers. So this is the part on the edge. I made a loose stitch, so I'll be gathering it. So this is the front panel. Like I said, I times the front panel by 2.5 to get this width, and the width is around 62 inches. So I'll just go ahead and gather it. So I've done that. Then I'm going to measure it and make sure I have around 25 inches. Remember, the front width is 25 inches. So on these ruffles, I gathered it to have about 25 inches. So I'll repeat the same thing on the back. Remember, I said the back is shorter than the front panel. So I've done that. I've done the loose stitch. What I'm going to do, I'm going to top stitch this ruffle to secure it so that it doesn't move. So I've gone ahead to do that. Now I'll pick the front panel, that is from the beginning here. I'll start sewing it good side to good side. So I'll place the ruffles like so, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and secure it with a pin. So after securing it with the pin, we'll have something like this. So I'll be sewing it by 1/2 inch. So we'll have something like this. So what I did on the front, I'll repeat it on the back. So this is the back panel. I'll place it also. I've taken the measurement and I made sure it's 25 inches. That is the width of the ruffles. So I'm placing it good side to good side and I'll sew it. Then I'll come back and show you. So guys, I've done that. So this is the front panel. So this is the ruffles. As you can see, it's looking nice already. So this is the back panel. So like I said, I fixed the ruffles separately. That is the front ruffle separately from the back ruffles because the lengths are not equal. So because I made the front a bit longer than the back, it made it a little bit longer than the back panel. So what I'm going to do, I'll just go ahead and trim it out. But before then, I also went ahead to continue sewing the side seam all the way to the end. I repeated it on the other side. So now I'll turn it to the good side and I'll cut out this excess I have on the back. So the front is a little bit longer than the back with about 2.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and make sure the front and back are equal. That is on the ruffles. So I'm just trimming it out so that it will be equal. So now the hemline are equal. So now I'll be adding the second tier to the dress, but I'm going to measure the circumference, that's the round of this. So I have around 140, that is the round of the hemline. I have around 140. So I'm going to times 140 by 2.5 to cut out the pink chiffon. So to achieve that, I have the 2 yards of chiffon. The length of the dress is 62 inches, but what I have done so far for the first layer, that's for the first tier, I made it 50 inches long. So I need to add 12 inches more on the dress. So the chiffon, I'm cutting it by 12 inches. So each strip is going to be 12 inches long. So this is me trying to get the strip. I've cut out 12 inches, so I've cut out 2. So I'm going to place it this way and sew it. So when I join them together, I already have about 120 inches long and I needed 350 because I'm timesing 140 by 2.5. It will give me 350. So I'm trying to cut out more strip to get about 350 inches long. Like I said, the chiffon is about 2 yards. So I'm going to attach more strip on this side to have a long strip. So guys, I've done that. So this is the long strip. I've gone ahead to join them together. So I have about 350 something inches for the width, and the length I have here is 12 inches. So I'll be attaching it on the lower side of the main dress. So I'll be gathering it this way because I don't think I have the patience to make a loose stitch and to make gathers. So I'll just use my hand and take it to the sewing machine and I'll be gathering it this way while I sew it to save time. So I'll do that and show you. So guys, I've done that. I decided to use my hands to pleat it. I made tiny plates to achieve this because if I decide to make those gathers, because the strip is too long, it's going to waste my time and I might have issues. So I decided to just make tiny gathers. You can see it really came out nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fix the sleeve. I already have a video on how to draft a basic sleeve. I've gone ahead to cut out the sleeve. So what I did was I added extra 4 inches for seam allowance because I wanted to have a little ruffles on the lower side. So I'll be cutting out a band and I'll be fixing it on this side. So I'll just fold it this way. I want the band to be 1 inch, so I'm folding it by 1.5 inches. I'm using 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm folding it by 1.5 inches. So it's a 3/4 sleeve and the round of the sleeve is around 11 inches. So I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance. That will make it 12 inches. The length of the sleeve is around 18 inches plus the 1 inch band. It will give us around 19 inches. So I've cut out 2 sleeves and 2 bands. So these are the 2 sleeves. Like I said, I added 4 inches for seam allowance. So I'll be sewing it by 1 inch. So after I sew it by 1 inch on the band, I'm going to sew it by 1/2 inch. I'm going to fold it this way. I'll sew it by 1/2 inch. I'll repeat the same thing on the other band. Then I'll do that and I'll show you. So guys, I've done that. I've stitched it by 1 inch. That's the sleeve. I'm turning it to the good side. So I did the same thing on the band. I've stitched it by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to fold it this way. So it's like a double fold to create a band. So I'll be tucking it in. That's the sleeve. I'll tuck it in this way. Then the excess I have, I'm going to gather it round. Remember, I left 4 inches. So I'll gather it round and I'll sew it. What I did here, I'll repeat it on the other sleeve. So I fixed the band to the sleeve. I made the tiny pleat all round. So the next thing is to fix it to the armhole. I'll fix it from the 2 side seams. So I'll make sure the 2 side seam aligns. Then I'm going to tuck it in like this, good side to good side. Then I'll be sewing it round. So the little excess I have, I'm going to pleat it on the shoulder. So I'll pleat it and sew it round. I'll repeat the same thing for the other sleeve. Guys, I've done that. I've attached the sleeve to the dress. Like I said, it's a 3/4 sleeve. So I placed the excess on the shoulder and we have this. So our dress is ready. I'll just take it to the weaving machine and weave it all the way round. So guys, we've come to the end of these tutorials. I hope it was helpful. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching guys, and see you in my next video.